strong cold front to bring damaging winds, widespread rain and mountainous snow through southeastern parts of Australia in the next 24 hours. We can see what's driving that on the satellite image. You can see a cold front moving into southern parts of South Australia. That's bringing widespread rain and strong and damaging winds. We're seeing moderate to heavy falls through the Adelaide area and welcome rainfall for much of southern South Australia after what's been a very dry few months. We also note this speckledy cloud behind it. That's showing some very cold air that's coming up behind this system, and that, combined with the frontal cloud band, is why we're likely to see damaging winds, and we have warnings current for some areas of South Australia, particularly in the Flinders and Mount Lofty ranges and through western parts of South Australia. And what this means, if you live in this yellow highlighted area or know someone that does, we're forecasting winds of 90 kilometres an hour or greater to occur in these areas, and that's strong enough to bring down trees and power lines and cause possible power outages and some minor property damage. So please make sure you're weather aware if you're travelling or out and about today through South Australia. Now those impacts are going to continue into eastern parts and then into southeastern parts of the country as we move through tonight and into tomorrow. So let's look at that in more detail. Firstly, cold front, as we see right now, moving through the Adelaide area, and then it'll continue moving eastwards into western parts of Victoria this afternoon. But note the widespread showers and cold southwesterly winds behind that. That's going to bring widespread showers with local hail and thunder there as well. Then moving into Wednesday night, we'll see that cold front sweep across Victoria, southern New South Wales and northern parts of Tasmania with rain, showers and also snow developing through our alpine areas, and that could become heavy with possible blizzard conditions developing. So it could be a big night of snow and wind for our ski resorts up there. Then the front weakens on Thursday, but a lot of wind likely to develop through parts of eastern New South Wales on Thursday, and I'll touch on that shortly. Firstly, let's look at this wind in more detail. So what we're looking at here is the winds about 1,500 metres above sea level. So a similar height to, let's say, Mount Buller in Victoria. So that gives us an idea of just how much wind is in the atmosphere and what might mix down to the surface. So you can see we could see a fair bit of strong winds in that area, and that's where we have those warnings current during the afternoon hours. Then that quickly weakens, and then our focus shifts into eastern parts of New South Wales during the morning, particularly the early morning, the late morning into the early afternoon time frame, where we could see very strong winds through parts of eastern New South Wales, particularly our elevated areas, the escarpment, and also to the west of Sydney. So that's why we do have severe weather warnings current for the Snowy Mountains, also parts of the south coast, Illawarra, and to the west of Sydney, where we could see winds again gusting at or above 90 kilometres an hour. And that's strong enough to bring down trees and power lines and cause some property damage, particularly Thursday morning into Thursday afternoon. So a very windy day on the way here. So again, if you live in these yellow highlighted areas, make sure you stay up to date with the latest forecast and make sure you're weather aware if you're heading out and about. So not only is the wind with this system of concern, we're also looking at quite widespread rainfall, but thankfully not on the heavy side that it's going to cause any flooding concerns. Generally 10 to 20 millimetres through southern parts of South Australia and Victoria. May see some heavier falls through northeast Victoria around our mountainous areas, and most of that's going to fall as snow, and through western and northern parts of Tasmania. Now, talking about snow, we could see widespread snow developing through eastern Victoria and southeast New South Wales tonight into the early hours of tomorrow morning. But not only are we going to see snow in Tasmania as well, but also the central tablelands of New South Wales could see snow, and maybe even up towards the Barrington tops we may see a few flurries up there. But we're likely to see moderate to heavy snowfall through our alpine resorts through Victoria and New South Wales. And finally, we've also got large swells likely to impact parts of the South Australia coastline, particularly on the high tide from about Kangaroo Island all the way down to the WA border. So for those that live on the coast there, the high tide, we could exceed the highest astronomical tide of the year and may cause some possible coastal erosion, and that could get into the peninsulas as well. So wind, rain, hail, storms and snow, there's a lot of weather going on around southeastern parts of the country over the next 24 hours. So remember to get the latest forecasts and warnings by our website and app, and listen to all advice from emergency services.